rises for the win from 29 from the right hash. Kuz's kick is good. Here is Durant for the win. James for the win. It's gone. LeBron James at the buzzer.
Wilson representing the new media. We have Antoine and Corey representing the old media. Now let's get into it, man. Since the end of the NBA Finals, there's been a lot of drama in the NBA and in NBA spaces in terms of the media. It's very soap opera-ish. It's very soap opera-ish. There's beef now. There's Twitter beef. There's
crazy.
I'm waiting on mixtapes to drop next because it's
this track's level. Like, yeah, it's crazy.
Right. Like, so, we discussed it a little bit last time we met. We addressed the new media, what Draymond has going, his big push in terms of how he wants the NBA to be covered. He's been very critical of people in the, on TV, the Nick Wrights of the world, the Skip Baylesses, Kendrick Perkins to the max.
Going in on Perk.
To the max.
He's going in on Perk.
So we're going to discuss it a little bit, give our takes on that. I will say when we decided to start this was before Draymond even ever said new media. Like the motivation was similar to what he talks about. I know, like when I watch sports media, after a while, like I stopped watching First Take. Undisputed, I never watched regularly because
I watched clips.
I felt like I was right. Yeah, I would watch clips. I was watching actors, man. It was disingenuous, and they were just saying stuff to say it. Like you're just trying to get a rise out of it. It's not real. It's not analysis. I blame Skip. I'm gonna get into my Skip rant later because oh boy. But all right. So as it pertains to sports media in general, like what do you think? What do you think about what they do, and what do you think they should be doing better? But we'll start with Antoine.
Okay. Let me begin with. I'm gonna begin with Skip too, man. Like, because I watch Skip and Shannon because Shannon to me is he gives you from the inside out perspective. Like usually he comes on behalf of the players a lot of times, like talking from that perspective, and he gives some analysis on the game, and that's cool. Like I like watching that for him, but I think Skip kind of, like you said, he's kind of just says stuff for the watches. Like he just says stuff just to get a rouse out of certain people, certain players.
It's ratings.
It's ratings, and it's like it's part entertainment, which is he's really good at that, really at the entertainment aspect, but it's also part sports and analysis and breaking down the game and talking about the X's and O's and stuff like that. And that's not really Skip's forte, but he gives the most entertaining bits ever. So it's like he kind of, and so does Shannon too, though. But Shannon also, does the whole analysis thing well. But I think, man, Skip does what he's hired to do. Like Skip is, and a lot of people.
Okay, Skip. So like, what do you feel like they're hired? What do you think his job is? Because I think that's what the discourse is like. What is his job?
Bro, Skip is an entertainer, bro.
He's an entertainer.
Skip, bro, I think a lot of these cats are entertainers, dog. And I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to getting people to watch the network, watch the show, watch the channel, they're really good at getting people in there. Even if it's some controversial, you can say some controversial thing, and that clip's gonna go viral, and then you know what I'm saying, people are gonna start watching. So I think the network puts those people in those positions for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, dog, Stephen A is the most entertaining person on television. Like, you know what I'm saying?
So he's got a gift. He's definitely have a gift of entertaining.
So if I'm a network executive, I would want Stephen A and Skip to host a show. You know what I'm saying? Like the sports and the players might hate them, but when it comes to ratings and getting people, you know what I'm saying, to watch the show, bro, they do their job. That's what they're there for, you know?
Right.
So I think like you said, Stephen A and Shannon, and they're all great at their job. And I think people are trying to use that model that don't have as big of a platform or as big of this
following.
huge following, and they're using that model. So now we're hearing people that aren't big analysts or aren't big sportscasters, and they're making these outlandish type of comments because that model has shown that it's worked. And so that's why we're getting a lot of like these crazy off the wall takes from these random people. It's just like, come on now, like you're obviously just doing this for ratings. You're obviously just doing this for clickbait. Now, as it relates to the media itself, I truly believe that when it comes to being a media person, whether it be a sports analyst, sportscaster, whatever the case may be, I do believe that you come on these programs to give your take on sports. And some people's takes are just trash. I mean, but you got to think about where it's coming from. Like some people can't break down sports like other people can. Some people can't analyze and truly give a rational type of take. And I think that's
Rational.
I think that's the breakdown right there. I don't think people are really truly taking the craft serious enough to really kind of break down, what's going on in sports and try to, dig a little bit deeper without just reading off stats and stuff like that.
I think I give Skip his credit because he has revolutionized how sports is covered. I think because it started with cold pizza, they would do their first down, second down, third down, fourth down, and then that turned into an entire show, First Take, and that was the first of its kind. And it was like catching lightning in the bottle. But now I feel like things have become a circus. Like, first things first, there's a difference between a journalist, an analyst, and an opinion take person. And I feel like those lines have blurred and like everybody's kind of morphing into a take person. So like my issue with, I feel like their job is to entertain. They are, their job is to sell us the sport. However, I also think it's their job to teach us about the sport as well. Like you have to educate your audience. And I think the issue Draymond has, and I have with a lot of sports media now, is we stopped educating people and we're strictly entertaining them. But the issue is someone like Skip Bayless and Stephen A., they control how people think and how people perceive what they, because most people are casuals. They don't know what they're watching when they're watching basketball. So, like, I said this in a group chat earlier today. Like, somebody could get double teamed for an entire fourth quarter, turn on First Take, and Skip's like, or, Undisputed, whatever. Skip's like, oh, they ran from the moment and they shrank and blah, blah. Like, nah, they were being double teamed. Like, they were getting the ball out of his hands. Like, let's say what we see. Like,
we got to tell the whole story and not part of the story. Yeah.
Right. So like I feel like it's our job it's our job and their job to educate the audience. And what happened was now like Skip Bayless has made millions off of hating on LeBron James. Like that's his thing. Like people on ESPN were not making the type of money that they're making now before Skip and Stephen A started doing what they did. So now everyone wants to do it. When Draymond was addressing Perk, I don't agree with calling him a coon. However, he does get on TV, and it's like he's a caricature. Y'all remember Ryan Hollins?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was awful. I'm glad they stopped putting him on. But you could tell it wasn't real. Like you're just saying stuff to try to get people, riled up. So I think it's their job to educate us. Now, one thing I don't agree with Draymond is it's like when someone gets a take wrong, that doesn't mean they don't know the sport. Like, I don't agree with that. Like, oh, you picked the Celtics, stand on that. This, and that. Well, I mean, a lot of people pick there's two teams. Like, people are going to pick the Celtics or they're going to pick the Warriors. Like, don't sit here and say people don't know basketball. because they picked them. So I mean, but that's how I feel about that.
Now, I don't like how the players can kind of attack the media, when they're truly critiquing their game.
Right.
Because you got to think, these analysts, they spend hours at a time watching film. They at home, they got numerous TVs. They're watching like almost every game,
The
every
good
night.
ones are.
Yeah, the good ones are.
The good
So,
ones are.
so when you come, like when they're attacking them and saying that you don't know the sport, you never played this sport, like you don't have to necessarily play the sport to not know what's going on. I think,
Right.
if you sit down and watch a game long enough for years at a time and numerous hours of film, I believe you have some knowledge about the game. And so to take that away from them, I don't like that when it comes to the players. I think that's more so their insecurities about whatever they're doing wrong, that they're being critiqued on. And I don't like that part.
That's one.
Oh, I don't got nothing on that.
Oh, I thought you were about to say something. My bad.
Oh no, I was gonna take it in a whole nother direction if we're still talking about this.
No, go ahead, take it.
Oh, bro, Skip, this is what I was saying, bro. When I was reading up earlier, Skip is tripping with his whole Westbrook thing. Bro, it's tripping. Like it's disrespectful. Like,
okay,
Skip,
so
a lot of time, bro.
Let me lead into that. So
okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So Corey was talking about how you analyze the game and all that. We talked about how they affect how people perceive sports. What Skip Bayless and some others do also. It's fair to critique the player's game. I agree with that, Corey. Sometimes players are really sensitive about that. But once you start attacking their character, calling them names, things along the lines of that, that's where there's an issue. So Skip Bayless, for people that don't know, you probably know if you're watching this, Skip Bayless will refer to Russell Westbrook as Russell Westbrook. All right, there you go, Antoine. You can go on your rant now.
Hey, man, Westbrook's wife is tweeting Skip, like, pull up. Like, his wife is like,
oh, wow.
This is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, Skip is, I get it, bro. It's your job, but you be trying these folks, bro. Like, trying them as a person, as a human, as a man. Like, it's like he's not talking about sports anymore. Like, it's not about basketball. It's like Westbrook,
and
bro.
he'll try to claim like, well, it is just shoot better. Like, nah,
like,
that's
come
his
on,
name.
bro. That's like, you're defaming his name on national television every single day, day after day. So when somebody says something to you, Skip, now you want to get all defensive, like, hey, you know where I'm at? Let's pull up. Let's talk. But like, nah, bro, you got to stop trying me, fam. Like,
no, I mean, what they do is what Skip's doing is, because anytime somebody has an issue with what he says, come on the show,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just trying to pump up the ratings for your show. When you say come on the show, that's not, because they're not going to come on the show, and then you're going to come across as, well, see, I gave them a chance to come debate. So I did like when Draymond was like, I'm not going to debate with you. I didn't go to school to be a lawyer, but we can talk about the game.
Yeah,
we can talk about this. And after the Heat won the finals in 2012, they had Mark Cuban come on. If you haven't seen it, look it up. He went in on Skip. He was like, you speak in just generalities, excruciating pressure, and this and that. He was like, can you tell the audience what we did to stop LeBron the previous year? Because this was the previous year they lost to the Mavs. And he was like, well, he just needed to attack. And he was like, but did you know where the defense was coming from? And this is that. He's like, well, you just got to be aggressive. It's like those are generalities. It's very surface level, or you just got to get the job done. And that's not what happened.
Yeah.
But let me pose a question to you guys though.
Yeah.
If they start doing that and diving deeper into the actual game and teaching, as we say, is that really entertainment? Will people watch that? I think that's where they're coming from.
So this, I understand that. I understand. The problem is when you're on TV and radio, you're gonna do what ratings. Yeah. You're gonna follow the ratings.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've heard Colin Cowherd talk about it. He was like, y'all say I don't talk about baseball enough, but when I talk about baseball, my ratings tank.
Yeah.
Or You know, you guys say
reason why people keep talking about the Lakers.
Right.
Lakers can be trash, but you got to talk about it for the Lakers.
Yeah. So you're tired of hearing about LeBron, but when I talk about LeBron, you all tune in. I understand it. Like, I don't think it's because it goes back to analyst versus take person. Like, an analyst is after a game, you watch Tim Legler. Mm-hmm. Tim Legler goes in X's and O's and this and that. I think with the take people, they don't have to go deep into the X's and O's. My thing is you just have to talk about what happened. Yeah. It can't just be what spicy narrative can I spin out of this and, you know, blah, 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 or are they this? And it's disingenuous. That's what I think. Like, I can listen to Shannon talk because Shannon actually talks about the game. I can listen to Draymond, you know, Stephen A. back and forth. I think JJ Redick is awesome.
Oh, really good.
JJ Redick entertains me. Now, there are some people. Now, I mean, let's talk about the platform we have right now. Like, we try to be as authentic as possible. And we've had people that say, yo, like, I really like this. This is dope. I can't wait for this to come out. And then we've had people text us like, yo, y'all got to yell more. You got to scream and yell at each other.
That's real. Like, y'all need a gimmick. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, there are times where we're going to get really animated. But if we just sitting here trying to find reasons to yell at each other, like, the audience is going to know. Like, you can tell when people are being fake. Like, I can't, like, when we talked about what a real fan is, that was genuine, real, you know what I'm saying? When y'all ranted about the Hawks, when I ranted about the Lakers, that was, like, genuine. But, like, I'm not going to sit here and make something up and be like, well, I think the Hawks are going to be in last place till next year. Click, 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 click. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of lame. I don't know what y'all thought.
I agree.
No, I mean, I feel the same way, man. But my thing is, with the media, this old media, new media thing, I think if you put in the effort and the time to do this craft, you have a viable platform, right? Because in my opinion, if we're just start bashing these media, what's any different from a politician telling a basketball player, hey, stay out of politics? You know, it's like you're not well versed in politics, so why do you have this take on how I govern? I mean, we can critique mayors, governors, all the way up into to the president, but most of us have never been in politics, you know. So what's the difference?
There's a lot of critique about the media when people don't like. So someone like, you know, Nick Wright, Skip, it's not like they're not strictly covering basketball. So they do have to keep up with a lot. And I'm sensitive to that. My only issue is when, because I actually, most of the time, I don't mind Nick Wright. Most. Sometimes he gets to LeBron is the savior-ish. And then sometimes when he first came on the scene, I thought he was a little ridiculous because he was just saying stuff to get clicks. But now if you listen to him, he's actually thoughtful in what he's saying. My issue with Skip is Skip has been doing this so long. Skip was a journalist.
Yeah, he was.
Like Skip didn't start
Chicago,
as a, you know what I'm saying? Like he was a journalist, and like I feel like I've just never heard valuable sports information from Skip. It's always just narrative based. It's feelings. It's you know, this is that. So
I think with Skip, he lets his biases get too much of him, and like he's so in love with Michael Jordan. He hates LeBron so much. He loves the Cowboys out of this world, and it's just like it gets to a point where when they're talking about those topics, it's just like you're not even being realistic anymore.
Yeah,
it's just crazy.
Yeah. So, all right, that's our take on the new media, old media, and we out.
Thank you for joining us on the For the Win Vodcast.
Make sure you follow us on IG at For the Win Vodcast, on YouTube at For the Win, on Apple Music, on Spotify. We are everywhere.
For the win, and we out.
Peace.
Yes, sir.